testing types, question and answer. What is embedded software testing? Embedded software testing is the process of validating the functionality, performance, and reliability of the software embedded in hardware. It ensures that system meets real-world safety, function, security requirements by testing the firmware, drivers, and communication protocols and the interfaces. What are the main types of embedded software testing? Unit testing, testing the individual functions and the modules. Integration testing verifies the interaction between the software components. System testing validate the full system against the requirement. Regression testing ensures the changes doesn't break the existing functionality. Performance testing uh, should is specific to the speed, memory, power consumption. Safety testing, we need to ensure that the compliance and safety standards are followed. And security testing protect against the cyber threats. And stress and load testing test the system behavior under extreme conditions. Fault injection testing introduce the error like shut to bad, shut to ground, and to check the system response. What are the key changes in the embedded software testing? The hardware dependency, real-time constraints, limited debugging support, interfacing compatibility, memory and power constraints. What is the difference between black box testing and white box testing in embedded system? Here, testing on the hardware or software, black box testing involves just we are giving the input and we are validating the output. Here, the code knowledge is not much required, and the focus is the functionality of the system. And example of is system testing and functional testing is part of a black box testing. Here, the tools used vector canoe, ECU test, and Selenium. And coming to the white box testing, this will be a part of the code level testing. Here, we'll test the internal code, and more focus is code structure, logic, and the flow of data. And examples of this white box testing, unit testing, code coverage testing. And the testing tools use this testing, LDRA, and CAN data. What is unit testing in embedded system? Unit testing verifies the individual functions of the components of the embedded software. It is usually done at the code level using the tools like TestC, LDRA, CAN data, and automated frameworks like Google Test. We call as a G-test. The examples is testing an ADC driver function that converts analog voltage to digital. Here is the function like int read ADC value is a function. Within the brace, we are reading the written ADC RGE value. So the RGE here, it refers the read from the hardware register. So here the unit test case checks if function returns the expected value under different inputs. This is a small example how that can be validated by unit testing. What is integration testing in embedded system? Integration testing verifies the interaction between the different software modules or the hardware different hardwares or the software components integrating here. The example here, testing the communication between the ECUs and the sensors using CAN protocol. Checks if ECU receives the correct sensor data or not, or that will be validated as a part of the integration testing to validate the data integrity over the CAN communication. Here the tools used for integration testing like vector, canoe, DSpace, and ECU test tool. What is regression testing in embedded system? Regression testing ensures that new code changes doesn't break the existing functionality. It involves rerunning the previous test cases to detect the issues and introduced by the software updates. Examples of if a new feature is added, the regression test checks that existing Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and other part of communication still works correctly as expected. It's not impacted if there is a new changes or new modification is happened in the existing software. The tools used to perform the regression testing, ECU test tool, Selenium, and Jenkins for automation. What is a fault injection testing? Fault injection testing introduces the hardware and software failures to observe the system behavior, ensures the system able to tolerate the fault conditions. Examples: incorrect 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 functionality that can be validated by injecting the wrong sensor value and check the ECU that able to enter into the safe zone during the fault condition, and simulating those the communication failures via the protocols can SPI UART and verifies the recovery mechanism. Tools used for fault injection testing: vector canary, DSpace, and some of the Python based for fault injections with the help of automation tools. What is performance testing in embedded system? So performance testing is it is specifically to validate under different conditions. It includes the real-time response, memory consumption, and power consumption. And examples is to measure the task executed in the real time with various conditions and various reasons. Reasons here specifically the climatic conditions, under the hot or cold, how the performance is happening, that will be validated. And check if battery powered devices meets the power saving requirement. Tools is used for the performance testing: JTAG debugger, oscilloscope, and the power profilers like gyroscope. What is hardware in loop testing? The hill testing. Hill testing simulates real world hardware behavior while running the actual software. Examples is testing the ADAS using a DSpace hill bench with real vehicle dynamic. And tools used here: DSpace, NI, and vector canary. What is model in loop and software in loop testing? Here, model in loop terms as MIL, software in loop terms as SIL. MIL, it talks about the test the control algorithm using the simulation model. SIL, it talks about the test the software in simulated process or the model. The examples of SIL and MIL: MIL is simulating the ABS braking algorithm in MATLAB Simulink, and coming to the SIL, running the ADA software in virtual ECU before deployment. Tools used for SIL testing and MIL testing: MATLAB Simulink, DSpace, and ComMaker. What is safety testing in embedded system? Safety testing ensures that software meets the functional safety standards like ISO 262 for automotive, aerospace for DO 178C, and industrial IEC 61508. Examples of this: testing airbag control system to ensure it deploys correctly during the crash but doesn't deploy due to the sensor noise. What is cyber security testing for embedded system? Cybersecurity ensures that embedded software is protected from hacking and reverse engineering. Unauthorized access are the some of the standards that will be considered as a part of cybersecurity testing. Examples is to test secure boot mechanism, perform the penetration testing on the ECU communication protocol, validate the voter software updates and securities. Tools used here is the Linux, Wireshark,